One of the things that was interesting for me, so I'm a potential owner in the Cup Series.
Mm-hmm.
JR Motorsports could be a future owner in the series, and we are actively out here, like a lot of other new owners that are talking to these teams about what these charters are worth, who's willing to sell one, how do we become an owner. And so when I heard what I heard from the RTA, it made me go, I need to wait and pause. RTA is basically telling me that this charter that I want to buy is a losing proposition, or not a money maker, it's broken. That I don't want to buy this charter now because it's not a successful business venture. That's kind of what I took away from this.
But you're saying you're leaping to that based off of the fact that they're not getting what they want out of the TV revenue?
They basically said they can't make any money. They're all losing money, Mike. They said this. They're losing money. They're not making money. And I thought, too, as a potential buyer of a charter, that what NASCAR would give them would be way more. So when I heard NASCAR's offer was very minimal, it made me go, oh, wow, I didn't expect that, right? I expected NASCAR to go, okay, guys, we understand what you're saying, so here's this new number to get y'all a little bit in a better position. Because basically the teams are saying that 60 to 80% of the money it takes for them to race comes from sponsors.
That's
and
right.
If a sponsor like M&M's wakes up one day and goes, we're not here anymore, that can destroy that team. And that puts the responsibility on the owner to find that 60 to 80%. And if he doesn't, he's got to fire people. He can't hire the driver he wants, like Kyle Busch. All of these things tumble into disarray. And so they want a little insulation. They want a little protection. And so instead of getting maybe $5 million, they want that to go up significantly so that the TV money comes to the teams, and they now aren't solely responsible to depend on the sponsorships to race. And so as an interested owner or interested future purchaser of a charter, I expected that number to get there. I expected them to be able to achieve what they wanted. I expected the RTA to be able to get this done. And when I heard that NASCAR came with just a very minimal increase, it freaked me out a little bit.
I understand now, but you also get that it could still get done. I mean, this is just one latest iteration of this negotiation, which is going to go over the span of years probably, or maybe at least another year. And the fact is they're just doing it to apply pressure. Whether or not that even worked or not is another thing. In fact, do you think that worked?
Well, no, but I just feel like it put pause on a lot of people that might have been interested to buy into the sport.
Yeah, that's certainly interesting. In fact, everything you just said.
I feel like if a charter has went literally in just less than a decade from $2 million to $30 million in value. All right? And everybody's wondering if that $28 to $30 million valuation is real or if it's a bubble. And for me, I went from being able to kind of somewhat justify that purchase to saying, no way, not at that number. Knowing what I know about what NASCAR came back with as an offer, knowing that these teams are operating at a loss, no way I'm going to go spend $30 million to get a charter that's going to operate at a loss, and I'm going to get a very minimal amount of money out of the TV deal.
What if the RTA gets what they want and it makes the cost? Let's just say if it's $30 million of the cost of a charter, now if it goes up to 35 just because of the news of that they get what they want out of the TV rev.
Then
like you could look at that a couple different ways. Yeah. It scared you off, but at the same time, it's almost like the stock market. The value of those charters do continue to increase, and they've increased at a rapid rate.
They have.
At a rapid rate. That is scary. But it also, if you look at it like, well, they're going to continue to rise because of, different developments, one of which would be the TV revenue.
That would be the only development in my mind that would make this thing rise any more than it is now. I don't think that there's a bunch of – I don't know that. I think the demand has decreased a little bit. The demand for charters has decreased a little bit now that Denny's got got 2 charters. There possibly in 5 years could be new charters available. You don't know where, there could be an RCR, a Gibbs, or a Stewart-Haas. Who knows, right? Is 4 teams, is operating at 4 teams the smartest financial situation for these teams, in 5 years and 10 years? Will it be more appealing to be a 3-car team or even just a 2-car team? Will that be the norm, right? Mm-hmm. And so then there may be a lot of charters in the market at that point. So do you wait, right? Do you wait 5 years to when there's so many there's more charters out there than there are people willing to buy them or wanting to buy them?
At some point, you have to assume that will happen. It's just when, right? Like at some point, the demand drops off. I think the demand is high right now.
There's
more people that are wanting to buy a charter than there are charters.
That's true. There's not many charters for sale.
Yeah.
There's only a couple willing to even consider selling. So, yeah, there is more people wanting to get in than there are. But I don't, I just wonder if you can get it cheaper. And I wonder what this little debate and tug of war and argument between the RTA and NASCAR does to that perceived price.
It's going to do something. Either it increases it or decreases it. But
why would that argument decrease it?
If they don't get what they want. If the RTA doesn't get what they want. If they don't end up getting a larger chunk of their TV revenue.
We need to talk about what's going to happen in the next month, not when the deal's done. When the deal's done.
Okay, well then in that case, yeah.
But
when you said that it scared you off, that leads me to think that you're waiting to see how that develops.
Should you? That's the argument. Is like
I don't
think if you can pull the $30 million together now, you go ahead and pull the trigger.
Listen, first of all, it's easy to come up with a lot of opinions on what you do when it's not your money. So I can have an opinion. It doesn't really matter. It's not my money. This is something that maybe I think of it completely different. But right now, my assumption is that this is typical negotiations between RTA and NASCAR, which is to be expected.
But it's very public.
And maybe they have a public, in the public square, they can negotiate this thing, whatever it is. At the end of the day, my thought is that they're going to get a satisfactory chunk of the TV revenue. Because I also think, as I pay attention to the way TV rights are being done all over the sports landscape right now, those things are just rising.
Sure.
Live events are just rising. People can sit there and scrutinize NASCAR, and they can say, "Oh man, look at the grandstand." I don't care what they say. It's a premium for live events, and NASCAR has a lot of live events. Yeah. And I think that whether you go into the streaming platforms, whatever it is, that price is going up everywhere. So if I have to assume that, I can assume that NASCAR's is going up too. I think race teams will end up getting maybe not what they want, because you're always going to ask for more. You're always going to ask high, right? That's how you negotiate. But where they're going to end up is probably going to be very satisfactory to all the race teams. It may take a lot of hurdles to get there, but I just bet at the end of the day they're going to all come to an agreement because they all need each other. They all need each other. You can't race without the teams. The teams doesn't have a place to go race without NASCAR. And, everyone's trying to jockey for leverage and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, we all need each other. I think they come out with it. And I also think that that's going to escalate an already escalating price of a charter.
Yeah. I don't think that there'll ever be a race, any kind of a work stoppage or anything like that. I don't think it'll ever affect the schedule. There's nothing like that that's ever going to happen. So I don't know how much leverage the RTA really has.
I don't think they have as much as they think they have.
Yeah.
That's my personal opinion.
And so if they don't have a lot of leverage, then how do they get the number they want? How NASCAR could just sit there and go.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. I guess my answer to that would be because at the end of the day, Roger Penske's still Roger Penske, Rick Hendrick's still Rick Hendrick. There's some adults in the room on behalf of RTA that just know how to get deals done.
Yeah.
And I think that they're going to be the thing that makes it happen for them. But you bring up a fair question. That is a good point. If you don't have leverage, how are you going to get what you want?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm this is fascinating stuff. And now I don't love the current price tag on the charter at all. And to get in there a little lower would be pretty nice.
Yeah.
But we had, and I understand, we had our chance. We had a chance not very long ago to get a charter at 6, get a charter at 12.
Oh, man, to get that now, wouldn't that be something? Yeah. Knowing that, like just even applying that vantage point from it would make the 25 to 30 million to almost feel like impossible.
That's right. Now you understand.
Because just how it wasn't that it
was months ago.
It was a fraction of that just a few months ago.
Yeah,
that's right.
Months ago. And so now I'm sitting there going, is that 30 real? And what does this conversation do to that number, right? And would it move? There's not a lot of charters on the table. There's maybe one even to buy, like outright, you know? And so that's you're negotiating with one person that knows that they have the only one.
Yeah, if you want to talk about who has leverage, it's that person.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they're naming a price.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's a big number.
Yep. Hey guys, I'm here to tell you 3 reasons why I love our sponsor, Tire Pros. Number 1, Tire Pros loves cars as much as I do. Number 2, they have great service. Number 3, they're committed to getting you back out on the road. Plus, they've got this really cool logo.
Dale, that's 4 reasons.
And they have over 600 locations, 24/7 roadside assistance, a great selection, and a best-in-class tire warranty. Tire Pros, love the drive.